It's the Joel Shit Show featuring Joel Shit. Hi, welcome to the Joel Shit Show. I'm your host, Joel Shit. So, I'm at the Sands in beautiful downtown Reno, and I'm about to go home. It's really windy outside. In fact, I'm going to show you how windy it is. In fact, maybe you can hear the wind howling in the background. Can you hear that? Mr. Rogers would say you could. So check this out. This is outside. Now I want you to look at the light standard in the wind. Like right there. That is a light pole that goes straight up in the air, right? Can you see it moving back and forth, left and right? Look at the top of the light standard and that red vehicle, that one right there. See how it looks like you can see more of the red vehicle on the left of the pole than other times? That's because the wind is blowing it around. Like check out over there. There's big flashing lights. Something's going on. So anyway, yeah, I mean we're talking like sustained 40-mile-an-hour winds, which is pretty windy. Free refills for all blondes and some brunettes too. So I lost $300 yesterday. I first went to Atlantis and I played the $10-7 double bonus progressive at the Waterfall Bar. If you're into bar top video poker, which is great because if you are at the bar, you get instant drink service whenever you want it. And it's also the highest paying, in terms of percentage, video poker machine in the Atlantis. And it's probably one of the best paying bar poker pay schedules anywhere in the world. Great stuff. So I got a couple 4-of-a-kinds and I got to play for a while, but I lost my $100. Then I went to the poker room and I played 3-6 I played for 4 hours, and I didn't lose everything, but I lost a goodly amount. Now I can't seem to remember. But I had a lot of good hands, but I don't know. I know I didn't play as well as I could have, but it's hard to put my finger on it. But it was an interesting session, I'll put it that way. Then, let's see what happened after that. I got in the car and came back to the Sands, and I had 6 $5 match plays to use that I got. I got 1 when I checked in and 5 from the slot club booth when I checked in there. And so I went to a $5 single deck blackjack table here at the Sands. One of the weirdest rules about blackjack I've ever seen. You can double on any 2 cards, but if you double on a soft hand, the ace must count as 1. So let's say you have ace 4 and you get a 6, that's only an 11, it's not a 21. Well, there's no reason to double on an ace 4 if a 6 isn't going to make it a 21. So it sounds like a good thing. It sounds like, you know, you could double down and on any 2 cards and, you know, get all the advantages of doubling on those soft holes, but really it means you can double on 8, 9, 10, and 11 is what it really means, which is what the rule used to be here. Pretty shrewd. You may see that catch on where doubling on a soft hand makes the ace count as 1. I've never seen that before. And so I lost 5 of the 6 match plays. The $100 I bought in with, I think, lasted 2 decks. I don't think I lasted more than 6 minutes. The counts got really positive really quick. I was on a single deck, and we're talking +4, +5, and I would get the stiff and the dealer would get 20. And then I would bust because of all the 10s in the deck. So, you know, you couldn't surrender, and you're not going to stand on 13. It's so mathematically correct to hit 13. When the 10 comes, you just kind of laugh, shrug your shoulders. Because you know the dealer has 20, so, you know, standing's not going to do any good. Let's see, and then I don't know if my cough is getting better or not, but I think when I get home, we'll see how being home treats it. But I still didn't sleep really well last night either. Around 7:30 in the evening, I said, boy, you know, I think I'm done. I'm going to watch the Sharks game. So I came back upstairs, and I was like, oh, man, I'm sleepy. So I watched the first 5 minutes of the Sharks game. I saw the linesman get hit in the head with the puck and get taken out of the game. And then I fell asleep until the end of the second period. And then I woke up and said, oh, I'm not tired now. I watched the third period. I watched the Sharks win. Then I watched a couple episodes of Family Guy. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to go to Harrah's and try to play poker again. Because last night they only had a 1-2 no limit. But I told them I'd come back tonight and I should see whether you know, that things are better. So last night, besides the 1-2 no limit, they also had a 3-6 limit game. And so I played in that. I played for 4 hours, and I was up almost the entire session, but I always seem to manage to lose at the very end. It's not that I play any differently. I think it's just I'm not going to play softer at the end just to guarantee a win for the session. And on the very last hand, we're only 5-handed because it got it was 3:30 in the morning. And I had 7-8 of hearts under the gun, and so I raised, and the guy in the big blind called, and he had King 10 of hearts, as it turned out. The flop gave me a draw, but as the flop was being dealt, you know, I was like, yeah, he's like, oh, you know, it's just us, oh, you know, it's not even worth the trouble. So, well, we can just check it down then. So the flop had a 6 and a 9 and 1 heart, and a queen or something. And then, so we checked it. And then the turn had a jack. So if I had 7-8, the flop had a 5 and a 6. 5-6 queen. The turn had a jack, which gave him a straight draw apparently, and it also gave me a flush draw. So the river's a 9, but what didn't give me a flush. So now the board is 5-6 queen jack 9. And all of a sudden he bets. I said, I thought we were going to check it down. Fine, I'm going to raise because I'm thinking, I'm going to totally make him look like a jerk because I ended up getting a straight on the river. And then he says, oh man, he looks back at his hand, he thinks, and he's about to muck it, and he's looking at his hand, all of a sudden he goes, I'm going to make it 18, he's going to re-raise. And so I look at the board, I look at him, I look at the board, I look at him, and I said, the only hand that you could have that beats me is King 10. And so I'm afraid to even know, but I have to call to see it. And sure enough, King 10 hearts. So if I had just called this bet, I could have saved $12. If I had bet on the flop, he probably would have folded. Who knows? So he's like, oh, I'm really sorry, man. I was like, hey, you know, it's all right. I mean, I had done things to people earlier. But if you play at Harrah's in Reno, the players, they're not bad, but they're easy to read. And you just learn who to get in the hands with and who not to get in the hands with. I've never seen a place with such a huge range of player ability. And where you sit at the table is so important. You know, whether you want to have the really weak players before or after you depends on your style of play, of course. But you definitely want to be sure that you have sat at a place that's to your greatest advantage. Some places, like at the Atlantis, everyone pretty much plays the same, kind of a tight, weak, style of play. It doesn't really matter. But at Harrah's, you have loose, aggressive, loose, weak, tight, aggressive. There's a woman 3 seats to my right who was very aggressive when she didn't have the best hand. And I had a hand where I had Queen 9 of hearts in the big blind, and the flop was Queen, Queen 7. And I bet, and she called. And then the turn was another card, but it gave me a flush draw. I had a backdoor flush draw besides my 3 queens on the flop. So I bet, and she raises. And I went, huh, that's weird. Well, I'll just call. So the river gives me the flush, and I didn't see how she could have a full house. So I bet, and she raises, and I re-raise. I did not check raise because I knew if I just bet she would raise, and now I'm going to get 3 bets in the pot. People check raise too much. And sure enough, she raises, I re-raise, she calls. She had like Queen 4, so I had a better kicker. I was ahead the whole way, and then getting the flush on the river just made me kick her butt even more. And see, good hands like that, which is why I was ahead for most of the session, and then silly hands at the end like that caused me to lose for the session. But it's all right. So I lost $12 on that session, which made me an even minus 300 for the day, minus 512 for the trip, and that's it. I'm going home. I'm just going to take my loss and be happy with it. I haven't had a trip this bad in a while, but it's a lot better than when, that stretch 3-4 years ago where every trip I was losing $1,200-1,500. So, after 3 or 4 consecutive trips of winning between $300 and $1,000, I can handle losing about $500. So there you go. That's all we have time for today. Visit us on the web at joelshitshow.com. Email Joel at joelshitshow.com.